Hey, how y'all doing today? You know, in earlier videos, I think especially the first one that I done, I had said that I'd learned how to drink whenever I went into the Navy, and that's basically when all of my drinking started. But I wanted to reiterate that my drinking didn't start because of the Navy. It was because of me. And actually the military I would recommend for anyone, because what the military does give you is, I guess the best thing that I got from the military was self-discipline. I just didn't learn how to use it until later years, because once I got into my drinking years, I didn't really care about the discipline part. It just wasn't. I mean, I disciplined myself around the ship and around the different places that I was stationed at, and as far as the rules went, I followed all the rules because I didn't want to get in any trouble. But at the same time, it really gave me a lot of self-discipline that actually years later, it didn't really come into play until then. And it has actually helped me in my sobriety a lot, because I rely on Jesus for everything. And I rely on Jesus to basically guide me in the right direction, because Jesus lives in my heart, and I know that he's always going to point me the right direction. Because if you're an alcoholic, you really don't care about the direction that you're going, but at the same time you still have that voice inside of you that says, okay, you're going the wrong direction. But anyway, I just want to make sure we was clear on that. I wanted to talk a little bit more. I talked in my last video about enabling and all the different ways that the people who care about alcoholics, their wives, their husbands, their brothers, sisters, their employers, everyone that they can really come into contact with can actually be an enabler if they're making excuses for them, or they're carrying their load, and and that actually allows them to continue doing what they're doing. And I know that in a lot of instances, employers, they'll overlook things because I don't know if their money aspect comes into it or not, for the reason why they overlook things. They just do, or the fact that they can't find other people to take over that person's job. But it's something that it is an enabling thing. I know I had a lot of enablers around me, because either they was afraid to say anything to me, or they just didn't want to get in the middle of it or try to act as though they was telling me what to do and this and that. But at the same time, and basically, even if they would have, I don't know if I would have paid any attention to them, because I hadn't reached my rock bottom yet. And alcoholics really won't acknowledge that they have a problem. They may acknowledge that they have the problem, but they will acknowledge that, okay, well, the problem is not bad enough. I only drink beer, or I only drink a little liquor in the afternoons, or I only drink, drink wine whenever we go out to eat and stuff like that. And there is a difference between people who can drink and people who can't drink. An alcoholic is not someone, or let me back up. Someone who goes out to dinner and has a glass of wine with their dinner, and they don't really mess around with alcohol that much, except for whenever they do go out to eat, or an occasional drink from time to time. Or they can buy a 6-pack of beer and put it in the refrigerator, and that 6-pack will last them a whole week. That would never have worked for me, because whenever I was a drinking to get drunk. And any kind of resistance that I had, I was going to do it anyway, regardless. So, the enablers really are, I'm not saying that the enablers are the problem. The only reason I'm saying this is because if your husband or wife or one of your kids is having a problem with drugs or alcohol, and I had a problem with both of them, it seems like a subject that you might want to tiptoe around in a way, but in another way, if say your son or daughter or husband or wife got into a car accident and you knew in your head, that it was a direct result of that, the outcome would have been different if they had been sober, then you have to judge whether to practice tough love or not. I mean, the person may get mad at you. They may even want to run away from you. But if it's the only way to help them realize that that you love them, and you're only trying to tell them so that they don't hit the same rock bottom that I had. I wouldn't wish my rock bottom on anyone, because it was a dark period in my life. That day that the Lord performed the miracle on me, or performed that miracle in my life in order to get me to go to the hospital and get things taken care of, that was important. And it was at that point, my mother wasn't the enabler then. Actually, my wife was the enabler. My place of work, where I worked at, those folks, they was partially enablers, but at the same time, everybody was making, they would make comments, but I wouldn't pay any attention to them, because it's really hard to get someone to quit drinking or drugging, because if they haven't hit their rock bottom, they don't see it as a danger to themselves. It's something that you build up to, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're looking around and you're there. You're at the point of where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it's just one of those things. A person that's an alcoholic knows that they are an alcoholic, and the people around them knows that they're an alcoholic. So any comments that you give towards that person, it will help them realize that they are an alcoholic. But I guess you just have to kind of judge when to step back and when not to when to help and when not to help. And sometimes you just have to let the alcoholic fall, or let the drug addict, just let them fall. And hopefully they will pick up on it and either learn from it, or they'll continue on until they hit their rock bottom. Because trust me, we're not going to quit doing what we're doing until we think we have no other options. And it's just the way alcoholism works. And most people are strong-minded anyway when it comes to alcoholism. They just think, I know for many years I thought, okay, I just drink beer. And during the end of my drinking, I was just drinking beer. But the beer has the alcohol in it. But by then, the chemical exchange in my mind had already taken place, and I was a full-blown alcoholic, and I knew. And there towards the end, after I got out of the hospital the first time that I had went in, I knew. Once I started drinking again, I knew, that this ain't going to work. And it just brings to mind, everybody around us can be enablers. Don't pat your alcoholic people, your son, daughter, husband, wife, co-worker, whatever that person is. Don't excuse what they're doing. Tell them that it's wrong, and maybe they will decide that their rock bottom is a lot less to the effect than what mine was. I guess that's the right way to put it. Look, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a podcaster. I'm just somebody who the Lord wanted me to try to help people through these videos that I'm doing, and I'm trying my best to do the best that I can do with it, and I hope that it's satisfactory to everyone. And just don't enable. Try your best not to enable. I just want people to kind of stick that in their head, and just try your best not to enable people around you to do those things. Make comments, make simple comments, nothing to endanger your friendship or endanger your relationship with one another, but just let them know that they have a problem and that you're there to help. And they would probably appreciate that more than anything. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me. It's at 35yearskept.com. at gmail.com. And like and follow and subscribe if you like the videos, because there's going to be plenty more of them. Thank you and God bless.